Hi, everyone. I'm Elizabeth Reid. I'm a violist. I'm from Canada. I now live in Northfield, Vermont. And I'm here with my best friend, Alison Cerutti, and my duo partner in the Cerutti-Reid duo. And we've been playing together for about 15 years, maybe 16. I can't keep count. And we were supposed to back this last March, supposed to do a series of concerts around Vermont, in Richmond, in Northfield,
Brandon,
yep, and at the Seven Star Center as well.
Right.
And, yes, and we had to cancel it because of the COVID crisis, and it was very last minute. And we ended up doing the concert a week later on March 21st, but we wanted to keep collaborating. But we ended up going and doing our own things, as most of you probably have done. And we decided at the beginning of summer, this would be our summer project. And we wanted to highlight 3 Vermont composers who are local to us and who we know very well, because we love their music and we want to perform it. And these 3 composers were Lydia Lowry-Bustler of Montpelier, Kathy Wonson Eddy of Randolph, and Carol Wood of Saxton's River. And this is our second night of the 3. We'll be doing the last concert tomorrow night at 7:30, and with special guest Carol Wood, the composer. So this is a different type of concert for me because since March and April, I've been doing live concerts. And this is an interesting format because we are doing more pre-recorded. And we worked, Alice and I rehearsed over 4 weeks and we performed for her mother and for the lawnmowers in the area and the people who are walking by.
Yeah.
Yes. And it was quite a learning process, for somebody. I don't have any tech experience. I have almost no tech experience. I have a little bit more than when I started in March, and the learning curve. But we finally did videos, and I think we're quite happy with it. So I hope you are as well. And then the other thing is I am very fascinated by the creative process. I'm a little bit nosy. I want to know what's going on in the mind of the composer and what drives the composer, what compels the composer to work and to create. So I decided I was going to ask 3 questions. So for tonight, this is all pre-recorded. Kathy graciously agreed to be interviewed, and I interviewed her this past Monday, August 17th, and I asked her questions. So we will go into the concert. So we're playing 3 pieces of hers. We're playing Peace on Earth. Alison, help me.
Oh yeah, there's the Peace on Earth. It's one with the hermit thrush quote in it, and there's To See Thee Face to Face, which is like my favorite one. But I don't know, they're all beautiful. And let's see, the other one.
I know, A Thread of Love.
Yes, yes, thank you.
And the order actually will be Peace on Earth, Thread of Love, and I See Thee Face to Face.
To See Thee Face to Face, yes.
And Kathy will, so the format of this concert is we're going to put a video on. It'll be a playlist, and it's my first time doing it on StreamYard. So hopefully it will go smoothly. Hopefully people will see it. Please let me know if there's a technical difficulty, and we'll fix that. And so the format is she's going to talk about the pieces, and then I'll ask her the first question. She'll answer it, and then we'll do Peace on Earth. Then second question, then Thread of Love, then third question, and then To See Thee Face to Face. And then we'll have closing remarks, a bit more talking. So I hope you enjoy the show. If you like it, please share. If you're on mobile and you see at the bottom share, you can share in the feed, and a lot of people do see it. So we're going to take ourselves out of the stream, and then we're going to put the video on.
I'm so delighted that Liz Reed and Allison Cerutti are playing these three pieces of mine. I have long enjoyed their beautiful expressiveness, so it's a treat for me to hear them playing. The first piece, Peace on Earth, was written right after 9/11. I found I needed something to ground me, to feel centered and peaceful in my heart, and that I knew would help others to feel the same. And the image that came to me as one of the most important for feeling peace was thinking of a walk that I make here on Braintree Hill, where I enter the woods, deep woods that are dark almost, they're so thick, and hearing the hermit thrush. Loo, loo. And that feeling of peace with the lush greenness and the hermit thrush is what I express in this music. You will hear the hermit thrush song, the state bird of Vermont, in the piano part. And Liz has a middle section that's a little bit more turbulent, but it returns to this peaceful feeling. The second piece that they are playing is A Thread of Love. This one was written for my friend Eileen Growald's 50th birthday using a poem that she wrote called A Thread of Love. It was originally written for flute and piano, and Liz, I've arranged it for her for viola. The poem that Eileen wrote is about after the death of her mother, the grief that she felt and an experience she had. I'm going to read the poem because it's so short. 3 years after my mother departed, I find myself again in her little house. A button has popped from my sleeve, and remembering her preparedness for things most people might not perceive, I look for the usual basket of wood or willow. There, on the guest bedroom bureau, I find it, with thread already in the needle, knotted, and preparing to sew, I sit. As the needle pierces the sleeve, I wonder if this was her last gift, a thread of love to a mender of grief whose sleeve got caught climbing over some pasture fence. She would have it ready for them to help put back together whatever came apart. And as I sew, I feel the mending of a piece of my heart. So I tried in this piece to have a thread, a legato connecting thread of the melody line and the viola. And then the final piece that Liz and Allison are playing is based on a text by Horatius Bonar, who lived from 1808 to 1889. He wrote many hymn texts, and this one I have loved for a long time. Although there's no singing in this piece, in this version of it, the instrumental version, I'd like you to know what the words are, and I'll read you part of his text. He's talking about his experience, or the experience possible for all of us in communion, in the worship service in church. Here, O my Lord, I see thee face to face. Here would I touch and handle things unseen. Here, grasp with firmer hand the eternal grace, and all my weariness upon thee lean. Too soon we rise, the symbols disappear. The feast, though not the love, is past and gone. The bread and wine remove, but thou art here. Nearer than ever, thou art here. So those are the three pieces that you'll be hearing.
The first one is kind of just very run-of-the-mill. Who are your favorite composers and musical influences?
Well, Bach, without question, is my favorite. And I return to Bach's music all the time. And then I think my second favorite would be Brahms, especially the Fourth Symphony and the piano intermezzo in A. And then I would say after that, early music. I love early choral music, especially Renaissance.
question number 2. What is your general composing routine or process? And it can be as general as or
Yes.
specific as you like.
I am an early morning person, and not so much in summer, but the rest of the year, I'm usually at the piano composing or at the computer setting it on manuscript, probably at 6 in the morning. And I was a pastor of the United Church of Christ Church in Randolph, Vermont for 36 years. During those years, it was very focused. I had only 2 hours a day I could count on giving to writing music. And I was very focused in the time. Now that I'm retired, I can noodle around a lot more. I think it was Emerson or maybe Longfellow said, all the intellectual work of the world could be done in 2 hours a day. And so that gave me great comfort all those years I was a pastor. And so I still completed a really big catalog, about 200 pieces in 36 or 40 years. But now I like it much better that I can do it as long as I want. I find it's very exhausting for more than 4 to 6 hours. I need a big break. I love walking. And I find when I take a break, it's still working in my mind. And sometimes I go back to it and something has mysteriously solved itself. I always start with text if I'm writing a piece that has singers, either a soloist or a choir, because that so influences the rhythm and the feel of it. I love melody that's the kind that makes you want to cry, but I like dissonance and unusual things in the accompaniment. So I wouldn't be in the category of an atonal modern composer, but certainly not too simple. I like working on making the harmony have a bite maybe, or bringing 2 disparate things together at the end. I do that often, especially in my bigger pieces.
That's great. Thank you. this is question number 3, and this one, it's probably the most personal in some way. I'm going to put you on solo screen.
Okay.
And then, okay, so this is question number 3. When did you realize that you needed to compose? Is there a story? I know as a classical musician, I was compelled to play viola, and there's
Right.
in my life that I couldn't actually play professionally, you know. And so I, it's like, compelled, and I knew what I had to, hang on to, what to do. So did you have an experience like that, or?
I grew up in a time when I didn't know any women in ministry, and I didn't know any women composing. So neither of those possibilities even dawned on me. When I was at Middlebury College, I was majoring in music, and especially in organ performance. And for one of my courses in my junior year, we had to compose something. And I remember I wrote it for SATB choir, it was short, and I had so much joy doing that that's really when everything started. I went to Yale Divinity School after I graduated from Middlebury, and while I was there, I continued my music studies. I studied with the university organist downtown in the music department. I was up the hill at the Divinity School, and I did some more writing there. But really, I think the composing came quite strong and as an undeniable call once I was a pastor and a mother. This creativity just had to find expression. And I was pretty clear, even when our first child was an infant, to start spending some time every day writing. My first pieces then were some big musical liturgical dramas that my husband wrote the libretto and all the text for the songs, and we involved, maybe 100 people, a lot of people in town, the children's choir and multimedia. Oh, it's just wonderful. And we did 4 of those. And after that, I began focusing on more difficult SATB music, a lot for Sounding Joy, a local choir, and then commissions started coming from all around the country. And so my most recent, let's see, a year ago, right now, or a couple months ago, a year ago, I had a premiere of my Chesapeake triptych, 3 movements that were commissioned by the Annapolis Chorus and Orchestra to write music about the Chesapeake. And the 3rd movement especially addresses climate change. There's a lot of rhythmic driving in that. And I just recently finished a commission for the first cellist of the Baltimore Symphony. It's for 4 cellos, and it's called Cello Stomp and Love Song. And I can't wait to hear it. I haven't heard her play it. So my call came slowly to composing, but like you with viola, Liz, it was absolutely to be obeyed. I couldn't ignore it. I find if I go too long without writing, I get really sad. So I need to organize my time so that I can keep going.
Great, thank you so much. So where can we find you on the web?
Well, I have a new website. It's my name, all small letters, KathyWonsonEddy.com. And that's Kathy with a K, and Wonson, WONSON, and Eddy is EDDY.
Wonderful.
KathyWonsonEddy.com. And the great thing about it is it has beautiful photography by my husband, Bob. And I was helped by my college friend, Karen Thorkelson, who's been such a supporter of me as a composer, to create the website and to make the scroll text during the music, or if it's just audio, to have it right there so you can look at it. I find the text is very important to be heard for choral music or solos. And the Chesapeake music is there under featured. And a beautiful piece I didn't mention, commissioned by the Princeton University Chapel Choir, called To See You Face to Face. And that was recorded on their choir tour in Portugal, and the setting is just amazing. So I encourage people to look at the website.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Oh, sorry. Hold on. All right. Sorry, it was just some audio from the stream that I stopped sharing. Thank you for all for listening. I wanted to end by reading Kathy's bio. I meant to read it at the beginning and I forgot. I also would like to thank Emma Rose Cerutti for turning pages all those 4 weeks. And this was recorded, we want to let you know that this was recorded on July 31st, 2020. All right. So Kathy Wonson Eddy, and I've also posted her, her link in the comments. All right. Kathy Wonson Eddy majored in music at Middlebury College, earned a Master of Divinity from Yale Divinity School, and later studied choral composition with Sir David Lumsden at the Royal Academy of Music in London. Ordained in the United Church of Christ, Kathy served as pastor and composer in residence at Bethany Church, UCC, Randolph, Vermont, from 1976 to 2012. Throughout her years of pastoral ministry, and now as a full-time composer, music composition has always been a call and a joy. This extends to conducting choral groups and piano accompaniment of solo singers and instrumentals in concerts and recordings of her work. Kathy's pieces have been performed widely in the US, Europe, and South America by groups as diverse as Counterpoint, Vermont's professional choir, the Hilliard Ensemble, the Princeton University Chapel Choir, folk musicians in Ecuador, Celtic musicians, community choruses, a high school jazz band and chorus, and church choirs and congregations of many denominations. Kathy and her husband, Robert Eddy, co-created the book Writing in Light, Meditations for Caregivers in Word and Image, with a foreword by Henry Norwin. With Marin Cherabassi, she co-authored 2 books of worship resources, Gift of Many Cultures and Gift in Open Hands. And I just want to, I think Kathy is watching tonight. So I just wanted, Alice and I are going to wave and we're just going to say, hi, Kathy. Thank you for your beautiful music. It's such a delight to play. Again, we want to thank everybody for attending tonight. Stay tuned for tomorrow. We will be playing the music for our final concert of playing music of Carol Wood. And she will be appearing as a guest, and we'll be hearing some of her harp playing as well. She's a wonderful harpist. Yeah, and we'll be chatting. We'll be chatting, and it'll be a lot of fun. Right. And Allison and I will be here as well, of course, not just Carol. Yes. So we want to say thank you again, and have a great evening, and we'll see you tomorrow. Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.